The Minister of Employment and Labour has gazetted an amendment to Schedules 1 and 2 of the National Minimum Wage Act. Effective the 1st of March 2025, the national minimum wage will increase from 27 Rand 58 cents per hour to 28 Rand 79 cents per hour. That's roughly a 4.4% increase on last year. The national minimum wage was brought in to avoid unreasonably low wages and applies to most sectors. However, there are some exceptions. To unpack the latest developments in this arena for us, I'm joined by Nombuso Ndlovu. She's an industrial relations specialist at Strata-g Labour Solutions. Thank you so much for joining us, Nombuso. So how will the 4.4% increase in the national minimum wage impact businesses, particularly your SMEs?
The impact to small to medium businesses will be a knock-on effect on having them adjust their wage review or review their wage structures, potentially adjust their budgets, but more specifically prepare for the inspections that will be taking place from now on going forward, as there will be an increase in that, and also ensuring that they comply with the regulations.
Yeah. What are the key challenges in ensuring compliance with the new minimum wage, especially in sectors with historically low wages?
The challenges there is that the increase in the minimum wage is that it gives an increase or a rise to the cost of labor, which will, again, like I said, impact the finances of the businesses and companies, in that they have to review, possibly even adjust their prices or services that they provide, the cost of the services that they provide. This will have obviously a knock-on and ultimate financial effect or impact in their budgets, in their wages, as the cost of labor will increase.
Why do certain sectors like the expanded public works program and learnership agreements have lower minimum wages, and how does this affect the workers in those sectors?
In terms of understanding what the purpose of such programs are, is that they are there to provide skills development and provide access to employment. So they're not necessarily an employment in itself, but they are there to provide a access, opportunity and experience to the employment labor. That is why you will find that it is often referred to as either a stipend or an allowance provided to such. So the effect it will have on them is that it's not necessarily an income, but more of an allowance or a stipend, because they are given access and opportunity to employment.
Yeah. So with the rising cost of living, do you think that the new minimum wage is sufficient to meet, people's needs? Because obviously 30 Rand or 28 Rand an hour is not that much money.
Look, it's very tricky to answer, and it's not a straightforward yes or no answer, because whether we like it or not, the reality is the price of bread is the price of bread for anyone who earns that much, for anyone who earns more. But what we need to understand are the benefits of having a national minimum wage, which is to alleviate poverty, to ensure or decrease, eradicate the inequalities of that. So it's the challenges are, we are all facing or bearing the brunt of the high cost of living, and it is therefore difficult to answer as to whether or not this is sufficient for anyone, because individual needs also differ from person to person. But I'm of the view that there could be a little bit more of an increase to align the income versus the expenditure, especially for basic needs.
Yeah. Very important question, especially for business owners who may be watching this interview. What are the consequences if you don't comply with the minimum wage provisions?
The consequences there are the enforcement of the compliance orders, which will result in fines and a rise in potential disputes referred to the CCMA under Section 73A, where employees will complain as to that I'm not being remunerated or paid in accordance to legislation. And that will result in employers facing fines, enforcement orders being, or compliance orders being enforced, potentially the attachment of assets to the businesses.
All right, Nombuso, thank you very much for your time and insights there. That was Nombuso Ndlovu. She's an industrial relations specialist at Strata-g Labour Solutions.